In Alberta, a man who was beaten in his front yard while his children watched, well, he's trying now to get the FBI to join the investigation.
It's a follow-up to a story we first told you about Monday on Fox 10 News. Renee Dials has an update on it.
I think this is when he realized that he was cut.
Earlier this week, Ronald Miller described a frightening ordeal following what appeared at first to be a burglary attempt at his home. Miller says he was attacked by a group of white men and teenagers who came into his yard in 4 vehicles. Miller was left with a cut on the ear that required more than 40 stitches. There were no arrests that night, even though Miller says some of the men were still on the scene when police arrived. Miller says he's looking for help wherever he can find it.
And I talked to an FBI agent just a few minutes ago before I pulled up, and he said there is an agent. They have made a report, and there will be an agent coming out of Mobile to start interviewing some people and trying to get to the bottom of it.
Miller wasn't alone the night the attackers came to his home. Justin Knighton and his family were visiting. He says one of the men held him at knife point.
And at that time, I heard somebody else say, get my gun, get my gun, get my gun out of the back of the truck.
Stan Knighton says when he heard his son's story, he called the FBI himself.
This is pure hate crime. It's something that I thought that in the year 2009, I lived through the 60s and 70s. I know what we went through in this country.
While the FBI will neither confirm nor deny its involvement in the case, the town of Elberta now says it's handling its own investigation.
So the officers are interviewing the appropriate people, and as long as the investigation is going on, I'm not allowing any of the people that work for me to make any comments other than that we have an investigation going on. We have nothing to hide, but we have the investigation going on, and when it's completed, we'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have.
Mayor Marvin Williams did tell us the case could ultimately be sent to a grand jury. In Alberta, I'm Renee Dials, Fox 10 News.
Now, the mayor did tell us 2 of the suspects in the case are juveniles. A spokesperson with the FBI told us late today the agency can only take on race discrimination cases that involve voting rights, religious, or housing discrimination.